Mathura Part 1, Mandal, Uttar Pradesh, India.
In the beginning of this Varaha Kalpa, Lord Hari assumed the form of a boar. With his tusk lifting the earth from the realm of Razatila, he shone with great splendor. Glorious on the tip of his tusk, the earth spoke to the Supreme Person, the goddess of fortune's husband and the deliverer from sufferings, as he traveled the waters. The earth goddess said, "Where will you put me down? Please tell me, O Lord. I see the entire universe is flooded with water." Sri Varaha said, "When you see trees standing up from the water, I will put you down. Look for trees." The earth goddess said, "All immovable things rest on me. What other thing is their steady resting place? It is I on which all things rest." As she spoke in this way, she saw some beautiful trees just ahead. Her pride now gone, the earth goddess glanced at Lord Hari and spoke. The earth goddess said, "Lord, in what place do these trees with twigs and leaves grow? They fill my heart with wonder. O Lord of Yajnas, O Master, please tell me." Sri Varaha said, "O beautiful one, you see transcendental Mathura Mandala, which is part of the realm of Goloka, and is not destroyed at the time of cosmic devastation." Hearing this, the earth goddess became both astonished and prideless. For this reason, Vraja is the best of all places. How to get there? You can get a train to Mathura Kant on regular basis. If you are staying in Vrindavan, which is 16 kilometers from Mathura, shared autos or taxi are available to take you to Mathura. Bhagavad Gita Chapter 4 Text 7-8 Lord Krishna says, "Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendants of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion. I myself appear, millennium after millennium." First I will explain who is this very powerful demon Kamsa. At the time of churning the ocean, a great demon named Kalanamai fought with Lord Vishnu and was violently killed by him. When with his Sanjivini science Shukrakarya revived him, in his heart Kalanamai yearned to fight again with Lord Vishnu. On Mount Mandal he performed severe austerities, drinking durva grass juice and worshipping the demigod Brahma. When 100 celestial years had passed, all that remained of him was bones in an anthill. Then Brahma said to him, "Ask for a benediction," and Kalanamai spoke a reply. Kalanamai said, "May my death not come from the hands of any or all of the very powerful demigods, who have Lord Vishnu as their root." Sri Brahma said, "O demon, the benediction you request is difficult to attain. Still, you have now attained it. My words are not false." In Ugrasina's wife the demon attained another demonic birth. Even in childhood he would regularly fight with great wrestlers. Wishing to conquer all directions, Jarasandha, the king of Magadha, set his royal camp at different places by the Yamuna's shore. Then the elephant Kuvlapida, who was strong as thousands of other elephants, became angry, broke his chains, and ran from the royal camp. It ran from the royal camp to the mountains and entered an arena where Kamsa was fighting. When wrestlers fled, and the elephant approached him, Kamsa grabbed its trunk and threw it to the ground. Again grabbing it, Kamsa threw it into Jarasandha's army 80 miles away. Pleased by seeing this amazing strength, the king of Magadha gave his 2 daughters, Asti and Prapti, as well as that elephant, to Kamsa. For a wedding present Jarasandha gave 100 million horses, 100,000 elephants, 300,000 chariots, and 10,000 maidservants. Then, very proud of the strength of his arms, and eager to fight, powerful Kamsa went, all alone, to Mahishmati city. Kanura, Mushtaka, Kua, Shala, and Tashala, who were the sons of the king of Mahishmati, were wrestlers very eager to defeat their opponents in fighting. Kamsa calmly said to them, "Let us fight. If you win, I will become your servant. If I win, I will make you all my servants." All these great fighters looked at him and agreed. Then Kamsa fought with them and they tried to defeat him. When Kanura rushed at him, Kamsa made a great sound and threw him to the ground. When Mushtaka rushed at him with ferocious punches, with one punch Kamsa knocked him to the ground. When Kuaa rushed at him, Kamsa knocked him to the ground, grabbed his feet, and violently threw him into the sky. When Shala, waving his arms, rushed at him, Kamsa grabbed an arm, pulled him down, and dragged him about. Then Kamsa grabbed Tashala, knocked him to the ground, and, by the power of his arms, threw him 80 miles away. Then Kamsa made them all his servants and, on Sri Narada's advice, went with them to great Mount Pravarashana. After presenting his proposal before him, Kamsa fought with the gorilla Dvita for 20 days without becoming tired. Dvita uprooted a mountain and threw it on Kamsa's head. Kamsa also grabbed a mountain and threw it on Dvita. Dvita punched Kamsa and jumped into the sky. Kamsa chased him and threw him to the ground. In this way Dvita was knocked unconscious. Dispirited, weakened, and his bones broken, he became Kamsa's servant. Then Kamsa went to Rishyamukha forest, where there was a great demon named Kashi, who had the form of a horse whinnying like thunder. Punching it again and again, Kamsa subdued the horse. Mounting it, very powerful Kamsa rode to Mount Mahendra. 100 times the demon king Kamsa uprooted the mountain, held it high, and set it again in its place. When he saw Lord Parashurama, who was as effulgent as the sun at the time of cosmic dissolution, and whose eyes were now red with anger, Kamsa bowed his head before the sage, circumambulated him, and fell at his feet. Pacified by this, Parashurama, his eyes very fierce, said to Kamsa, "O worm! O baby crab! You are insignificant as a mosquito. Today I will kill you, who are a wicked Kshatriya falsely proud of his strength. This great bow by my side weighs 100,000 beras. This bow was given by Lord Vishnu in the battle for Tripura city. To kill the Kshatriyas I received it from Lord Shiva's own hand. If you can draw this bow it will be good for you. If you cannot draw it I will destroy your strength." Hearing these words, the demon Kamsa picked up the bow made of 7 palm trees. As Parashurama watched, Kamsa easily strung it. 100 times he drew the bowstring back to his ear and released it with a thunderous sound. That sound echoed in the universe of 7 planetary systems and outer space. It made the elephants that support the directions tremble and it made the stars fall to the earth. Putting the bow back in its place, and bowing again and again to Lord Parashurama, Kamsa said, "O Lord, I am not a Kshatriya. I am a demon, and I am your servant. I am the servant of your servant. O Supreme Person, please protect me." Hearing this, Lord Parashurama was pleased with him and gave him that bow. Sri Parashurama said, "Whoever breaks this bow of Lord Vishnu will kill you." Then Kamsa bowed down before the sage Parashurama. As Kamsa thought of all this, he became filled with pride. No king could fight with him. They only brought him gifts. On the seashore Kamsa saw a demon named Agajura who, licking its tongue and hissing, had a serpent's body. When the serpent approached and bit him, the fearless and very powerful demon king Kamsa jumped on it and became like a necklace squeezing its neck. In the east a great bull demon named Urashoa fought with Kamsa as one elephant fights with another elephant. With its horns it uprooted a mountain and threw it at Kamsa's head. Then Kamsa took a mountain and threw it at Urashoa's head. With a single punch the great demon Kamsa made Urashoa fall unconscious. After this victory Kamsa went to the north. There, eager to fight, Kamsa said to Narakasura, Pragyatisha city's very powerful king, who was a son of the earth goddess, "O king of the demons, please give me a fight. If you are victorious, I will become your servant. If I am victorious I will make you my servant." First a very powerful demon named Pralambajura fought with Kamsa. They fought as one great lion fights with another great lion. Kamsa wrestled him to the ground and threw him into Pragyatisha city. Then a demon named Tenyuka came and grabbed Kamsa. With fearsome strength Kamsa angrily threw him far away. Kamsa threw Tenyuka 800 miles, jumped on him, and crushed him with many hard punches. On Narakasura's order, a demon named Trinavarta pulled Kamsa into the sky and fought with him 800,000 miles in outer space. With limitless strength, Kamsa dragged the demon from outer space to the earth and made him vomit blood from his mouth. When a powerful and demonic duck named Bakasura tried to swallow him with its beak, Kamsa made it fall with a single punch hard as a thunderbolt. Lifting itself up, the white-winged demon made a sound like thunder and angrily swallowed Kamsa with its sharp beak. When he was swallowed, Kamsa became angry and his body became like a thunderbolt. Its throat breaking, the great duck Bakasura spat Kamsa out at once. Kamsa grabbed Bakasura and threw it to the ground. As they fought, Kamsa grabbed it with both hands, whirled it around, and dragged it here and there. Then Bakasura's sister, who was named Putana, came and wished to fight. Kamsa laughed and said to her, "Hear my words, O Putana. I will never fight with a woman. Bakasura has become my brother, so you should be my sister." Then, seeing that Kamsa had endless strength, Narakasura accepted defeat. He made friendship with Kamsa and they formed an alliance against the demigods. Then, accompanied by Pralamba and the other demons he had defeated before, Kamsa went to the city of Shambhara and made his offer. Although he was very powerful, Shambhara would not fight. Instead, he made friends with Kamsa and all his very powerful allies. A very strong demon named Bhima slept on the summit of Mount Dracula. When Kamsa awakened him with a kick, his eyes became red with rage. He stood up and attacked Kamsa with hard punches. Then they fought a terrible battle with their fists. Kamsa's punches weakened him and made him dizzy. Kamsa made Bhima his servant. Then Kamsa came to Sri Narada Muni and bowed down to offer respects. He said, "O Lord, I yearn to fight. Where should I go?" Sri Narada Muni said to him, "Go to the very powerful demon Banasura." Thus sent by Sri Narada Muni, Kamsa, who was filled with pride in the strength of his arms and was looking for a fight, went to the city named Shanita. When he heard Kamsa's offer, powerful Banasura became very angry. He kicked the ground and roared like thunder. That kick pushed his leg through the ground up to his knee as his foot reached Patalaloka. Then Banasura said, "Please pull me up as I was before." Hearing these words, with both hands proud and powerful, Kamsa pulled him up as an elephant pulls up a lotus. By this pulling, the 7 Tala planets were devastated, many great mountains fell, and the sturdy elephants holding the directions stumbled. Seeing that Banasura was very eager to fight, Lord Shiva arrived, greeted everyone, and to Bali Maharaja's son, Banasura, said, "Except for Lord Krishna, no one in the world can defeat him." Lord Parashurama gave him that benediction and also gave him Lord Vishnu's own bow. By speaking these words, Lord Shiva, who is the Supreme Lord himself, brought peace between Kamsa and Banasura and made them great friends. Hearing of a great demon named Vatsasura who lived in the west, the demon king Kamsa fought with him, a demon who had the form of a calf. Kamsa grabbed the calf Vatsasura by the tail and threw it to the ground, in this way bringing it under his dominion. Then he quickly went to the countries of the barbarian Mlechas. Hearing about him from Sri Narada's mouth, red-bearded Kulavana picked up a club and went before the powerful demon Kamsa to fight with him. Kamsa picked up his own club, which weighed 100,000 beras, threw it at the barbarian king, and then roared like a lion. Then Kamsa and Kulavana fought a terrible duel with clubs, a duel where, throwing many sparks, the clubs were ground to powder. Kamsa grabbed Kulavana, threw him to the ground, jumped on him, and attacked him so violently he almost died. When Kulavana's army showered him with arrows, the powerful demon king Kamsa knocked it to the ground with his club. When he knocked down the elephants, horses, chariots and warriors in the club battlefield, powerful Kamsa roared like thunder. Then the barbarians fled the battlefield. Aware of the code of chivalry, Kamsa did not attack the frightened, fleeing barbarians. Lifting his feet and knees, his thighs like pillars, his waist slender, his chest a grey door, his shoulders broad, his arms massive, his eyes lotus flowers, his hair long, his complexion ruddy, his garments black, wearing a helmet, earrings, necklace, and lotus garland, effulgent as the sun at the time of cosmic dissolution, wielding a sword, shield, quiver of arrows, and club. Proud Kamsa went to Amaravati to conquer the demigods. Aided by Kanura, Mushtaka, Arashoa, Shwala, Tashala, Keshi, Pralamba, Baka, Dvita, Trinavarta, Aga, Kuaa, Narakajura, Bana, Shambara, Vyama, Dhenuka, and Vatsa, he besieged the city of Amaravati. Seeing the demons headed by Kamsa had come, Indra, the sovereign king of the demigods, became angry and, accompanied by a great host of demigods, went to fight with them. Then they fought a terrible, tumultuous battle that made hairs stand up. When hosts of sharp and glistening arrows and divine weapons created a blinding darkness, King Indra, riding on a chariot, threw his thunderbolt, flowing with 100 streams and glittering with lightning, at Kamsa. With his club the great demon Kamsa struck the thunderbolt. Its streams of lightning broken, it fell in the battle. Abandoning the thunderbolt, Indra took up a sword and angrily struck Kamsa on the head, making a terrible sound. Kamsa remained unhurt, like an elephant struck by a flower garland. Then he took a great and heavy club made of 8 metals. Then the demon king Kamsa threw that club weighing 100,000 baras at Indra. Seeing it coming, Indra caught it. Indra, the killer of Namusi, threw the club back at the demon. Then Indra, cutting his enemies to pieces, and his chariot driven by Maitli, went into the battle. Taking an iron club, Kamsa struck Indra on the shoulder. Because of that blow, Indra, the king of the demigods and enemy of the demons, became momentarily unconscious. Then all the Maruts covered Kamsa with a great and splendid flood of briar-feathered arrows like a monsoon cloud covering the sun. Making a great sound as he worked many bows with his 1,000 arms, the powerful warrior Banajura drove them back with a host of arrows. Surrounding him as a host of elephants might surround a mountain, the Vasas, Rayudras, Adityas, Ribas, and Suras attacked Banajura with a great variety of weapons. Then, assisted by Pralamba and the other demons, Narakasura came and made a great sound. That sound made the demigods fall unconscious on the battleground. Quickly rising, and his eyes now red, Indra mounted his furious 4-tusked elephant Theravada, now provoked by the striking of the goad, trumpeting with its trunk, crushing its enemies under its moving feet, its rut flowing, unapproachable as a mountain of snow, jingling its chains, moving its trunk again and again, opulent with bells, decorated with a jewel saddle and a network of tinkling ornaments, and its face decorated with pictures and designs drawn in musk, sindura and kamutra, and made it charge Kamsa. With a hard punch Kamsa struck the great elephant, and with a second punch he struck Indra in that battleground. With that punch Indra fell far away and the elephant was wounded and fell, its knees touching the ground. Again standing, the king of elephants attacked the demon king Kamsa with its tusks, picked him up with its trunk, and threw 800,000 miles. His body hard as a thunderbolt, when he fell he was only a little upset in his heart. Angry, and his lips trembling, he returned to the battleground. Kamsa grabbed the elephant king Airavata, threw him onto the battleground, strangled its trunk, and broke its tusks into pieces. Knocking over many great heroes, the elephant Airavata fled the battleground and went to the capital of the demigods. Taking the bow of Lord Vishnu and stringing it, with a flood of arrows accompanied by the twanging sound of the bow, the demon king Kamsa made the demigods flee. Seeing that the demigods had fled, Kamsa took Indra's throne and parasol and returned with all the demons to his own capital Mathura. Now I will describe Sri Krishna's coming to this earth during the Varaha Kalpa. The earth, overcome with a burden of many Daityas, Danavas, and human kings, assumed the form of a cow and, helplessly crying, trembling, and describing her troubles, took shelter of the demigod Brahma. Brahma comforted her and then, accompanied by Shiva and the demigods, went to Lord Hari's palace in Vaikuntha. Brahma bowed down before four-armed Lord Vishnu and explained why he had come. Then he who is the husband of the goddess of fortune spoke to Brahma and the troubled demigods. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, without Krishna, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the master of countless universes, perfect, above the demigods, and the enjoyer of transcendental pastimes, this problem will not be solved. You should go to his eternal and effulgent abode at once. Sri Brahma said, I do not know anyone greater and more perfect than you. If there is such a person, please show him to us, O Lord. When this was said, perfect Lord Hari showed all the demigods a spiritual river path flowing through the whole Sri Vamana made in the universe with his toenail. Going by boat on this path, the demigods left the universe. They saw the universe was like a round kutaja fruit far below. When they saw the other universes were like many kutaja fruits bobbing in the water of the Karana ocean, they all became frightened and surprised. Millions of yojanas higher they came to 8 cities charming with glistening jewel forest groves. Higher still the demigods saw the Vraja river's splendid shore, which was splashed by waves white as silk and glorious with many staircases. After seeing this, they entered a city splendid as countless millions of suns. As they looked at its splendor they became overpowered, their eyes struck by the light. By Lord Vishnu's order, Brahma offered obeisances to that light and meditated on it. In that circle of light he saw the form of a peaceful transcendental realm. When the demigods saw in that realm the very wonderful white lotus stem of thousand-faced Lord Shasha, they bowed down to offer respects to him. On his head was the transcendental realm of Goloka, which is worshipped by all the worlds, and which is a realm where time, the conqueror of the proud, does not prevail, and where illusion, the material mind, heart, intelligence, and ego, material transformations and the Mahatattva do not enter. How can the modes of nature enter there? Their forms very beautiful, more beautiful than Kamadva himself. Sri Krishna's associates stood at the entrance. The demigods said, we, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, all the protectors of the planets, and the demigods headed by Indra, have come here to see Sri Krishna. Having heard this, the doorkeepers, girls who were the Lord's friends, went inside the palace and told Sri Krishna of the visitors' wish. She returned, and gave the demigods permission to enter. Then the demigods entered the palace. Then the demigods saw Goloka, where the king of mountains, named Govardhana, which was filled with many cows and with gippas garlanded with forest flowers, and which was decorated with rasa dance circles, is splendidly manifest, where the dark Yamuna river meandered as it wished, its shores, made with lapis lazuli steps and decorated with millions of gazebos. Where the forest of Vrindavana, filled with splendid trees and vines, and glorious with bees, colorful birds, and the banyan tree where Krishna played the flute, was splendidly manifested. Where, carrying the pollen of many thousand petal lotuses, a cool breeze gently blew to the shore. Where in the middle is the Lord's personal woodland of 32 forests, which is surrounded by walls and moats and endowed with a reddish courtyard of eternal banyan trees. A courtyard decorated with 7 walls made of rubies and with a glory of pearls from awnings like many millions of moons. Where at door after door there were millions of beautiful cows glorious as white mountains, decorated with glittering ornaments. Many different wonderful colors, some pink, some green, some red, some yellow, some black, some smoky, and some the color of cuckoos. Where were many handsome cowherd boys, carrying flutes, holding sticks in their hands, and with charming melodies singing of Krishna's pastimes. Bowing down to offer respects, the demigods entered the Lord's personal forest grove, which was a 1,000-petal lotus that was a great circle of light. above that was a 16-petal lotus, above that an 8-petal lotus, and above that a long path decorated with 3 stairways. There all the demigods saw, sitting on a splendid throne studded with beautiful Kaustubha jewels, and accompanied by Sri Radha, Sri Krishna, who was accompanied by 8 splendid gopi friends headed by Mohini and served by 8 gopas headed by Shritama, whose left arm was decorated by Sri Radhika, whose right foot was bent as he wished, who held a flute, who smiled gently and gracefully, whose eyebrows enchanted hosts of Kamidvas. Very happy, as if plunged in an ocean of bliss, by seeing him, and their eyes now filled with tears, with folded hands and bowed heads the demigods offered their respectful obeisances to Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As everyone looked on, Lord Hari, the 8-armed master of Vaikuntha, appeared and merged into the body of Lord Krishna. The perfect, ferocious, and powerful Lord Nrsimha, who was effulgent as millions of suns, merged in Lord Krishna's effulgence. Then the master of Shvetadvipa, who was decorated with 1,000 arms, came in a splendid chariot drawn by 100,000 horses. Opulent with many weapons, accompanied by the goddess of fortune, and served by many associates, he suddenly merged in the body of Sri Krishna. Then, holding a bow and arrows, glorious with Sita, and accompanied by his brothers, lotus-eyed Lord Ramachandra came in a golden chariot that was effulgent as 100,000,000 suns, decorated with swaying Kama-uras, opulent with countless monkey kings, rumbling with 10,000 wheels, decorated with 10,000 flags, and pulled by 10,000 horses, and merged in the body of Lord Krishna. Then Lord Yajna, who is known as Narayana and Hari, who is glorious like a flame in the fire of cosmic devastation, who is the master of the demigods, and who is glorious with his consort Dakshina, came in a splendid and beautiful chariot and suddenly merged in the dark form of Lord Krishna. Then Lord Narayana, whose eyes were large, who had 4 arms, who was dressed as a sage, who was splendid like a dark cloud, whose matted hair was a lightning flash, who observed an unbroken vow of celibacy, and who was surrounded by splendid multitudes of the kings of sages, suddenly merged in the handsome dark form of Lord Krishna. As everyone looked on, their hearts filled with wonder. And now understanding that Sri Krishna is the original Supreme Person of Godhead, the demigods offered many prayers. The demigods said obeisances to Sri Krishna, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, greater than the greatest, the Master of Sacrifices, the Cause of Causes, the Lover of Radha, the Most Perfect, and the Lord who resides in Goloka. The Masters of Yoga say you are the Brahma effulgence, and the great devotees say you have a form. Today we understand your feet. Obeisances to you, the Master of the Brahma effulgence. We take shelter of you, the unborn Supreme, who are free from the material modes, who are beyond the world of matter, and who cannot be described. The greatest philosophers cannot describe you, either directly, indirectly, or by the most oblique hint. Some teach that you are the greatest, some that you are time, some that you are the sum total of everything, some that you are karma, some that you are yoga, and some that you are the first cause. We take shelter of you, who cannot be perfectly known by all their words. O Lord, they who reject the auspicious service of your feet, and instead visit holy places, perform sacrifices and austerities, and try to cultivate spiritual knowledge are beaten by a host of obstacles. How miserably will they fail? What request shall we place before you today? The pure-hearted devotees whose forms are not material offer respectful obeisances to you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead who, the witness of everything, stays in everyone's heart. O Lord, you are a necklace of moons Sri Radha places over her heart. You are the source of life for the Gopas eyes. You are a flag over Goloka. You are the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. O Lord, from all calamities please protect the demigods. O King of Vrindavana, O King of the Mountains King, O King of Vraja, O king who enjoys cowherd boy pastimes eternally, O king of Vraja, O king of the great philosophers, O lifter of Govardhana hill, O Lord who can do any impossible task, please save us. Addressed in this way, Sri Krishna, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the King of Gokula, in a voice of thunder replied to the demigods prostrate before him. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Shiva, O eldest of the demigods, O demigods, hear my words. By my order you and your wives should take birth, by your Amsha expansions, in the family of the Yadus. I will also descend. I will remove the earth's burden. I will perform the work you request. I will take birth in the Yadus family. The Vedas are my words. The Brahmanas are my mouth. The cows are my body. You demigods are my limbs. My devotees are the life breath in my heart. Millennium after millennium, whenever the blasphemers stop religion, sacrifice, and mercy, I descend myself. When her husband, Lord Krishna, the master of the universes, had spoken, Sri Radha, overcome with fear of being separated from him, and now like a flowering vine burning in a great forest fire, weeping, trembling, about to faint unconscious, and the hairs of her body erect, spoke to him. Sri Radha said, Go to the earth and remove its burden. Hear my great vow. O Lord of life, when you are gone I will not keep my body, alive, in this place. If you do not believe my words, I will say them a second time. If you go, then my life, yearning to depart, will become like camphor dust. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, I will go with you. O Radha, don't lament. I will remove the earth's burden and I will keep your word. Sri Radha said, My heart cannot be happy where there is no Vrindavana forest, no Yamuna river, and no Govardhana hill. Then Lord Krishna sent to the earth Govardhana hill, the Yamuna river, and a 47 krasha portion of his abode. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, I will take birth in Devaki from Vasudeva. My transcendental Kala expansion Sheshal will take birth in Rohini. The Vasudrona will become Nanda, and Dara will be remembered as Yashoda. Sukandra will take birth as Rishabhanu, and his wife Kulavati will also take birth. On the earth she will be known as Kirti. In her Radha will take birth. Kashyapa will descend as Vasudeva, exalted Aditi as Devaki, Pranavasu as Shurasena, and Druvavasu as Devaka. Vasu will descend as Adava, Daksha as Kindakara and Varuna as Kritavarma. Prasinabharhi will descend as Gada and Maruda as Yugrasena. I will give the kingdom to Yugrasena and I will protect him. Whenever in the past I incarnated in the world, the goddess of fortune would also incarnate as my queen. This time she will incarnate as my 16,000 queens. After speaking these words to the demigod Brahma, who sits on a lotus throne, Sri Hari spoke to goddess Yagameya, whose form is spiritual. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O noble-hearted one, take the seventh embryo from Vasudeva's wife Devaki and place it in Rohini, who is staying in Vraja out of fear of Kamsa. When you have done that wonderful deed, you yourself become an embryo in Nanda's wife. Hearing this, Brahma and the demigods bowed down before Lord Krishna, who is greater than the greatest, and comforted the earth goddess, and each went to his own abode. To be continued in Mathura, Part 2, Vraja Mandal, UP, India.